Okay, the next step I'm going to teach you is how to start practicing accepting emotions. So naming and accepting emotions. This is also an ACT skill, so acceptance and commitment therapy. And this is really, really helpful for when we get all spinny with our thoughts. A lot of times what we're doing is we're trying to problem solve our way out of our emotions. So we're trying to not feel the feelings because they're uncomfortable or they're overwhelming or they just feel complicated. So this is a technique that you can kind of add into thought diffusion, but really what you want to do is you want to notice when your thoughts are going. So you kind of notice the thoughts and come back. So it's the diffusion technique. And then you come back into your body and you say, what emotions am I noticing? And sometimes we have a hard time noticing our emotions or naming them. So that's where, honestly, I would just recommend Googling feelings wheel or wheel of emotions. There's lots of them online, and you can use those because sometimes it's easier to recognize what we're feeling rather than kind of recall it, which is totally fine. You can also use your own language. You know, what you might call embarrassment, someone else might call, I don't know, mortification or something like that. But whatever you want to call it, if you have a word for it, just use it. But if you're curious about finding a word, you can use a feelings wheel. So what you would do is you would say, I'm noticing these thoughts, but what's in my body? What kind of emotions am I noticing? So say you notice maybe some sadness. So then you say, okay, I'm noticing sadness. Now we don't want to make the sadness go away because we can't. We just want to notice it. And we want to create some space in our bodies for that emotion. So we say, okay, I'm noticing some sadness. And then sort of imagine allowing that sadness to be there because it's already there. And almost like kind of like opening up a little bit of space for the sadness. You kind of identify where it might be hanging out in your body and just imagine making some space for it. And then you'll notice maybe some thoughts are like, well, why am I sad? Maybe I shouldn't be sad. No, we're not going to engage with the thoughts right now. So that's where we diffuse the thoughts and then we come back into the emotions. Then you might notice anger. Okay, I'm noticing anger. Where is that? It's kind of in my belly. Okay, just making space. Same thing. I'm noticing anger in my stomach. I'm just going to make some space for it. Anger, you can hang out. Sometimes you'll have an image of what that might look like, or it could be like a character or an animal or something like that. Just noticing it and allowing it to be there. Then you might notice frustration that you're angry. Okay, that's another emotion. So frustration with the anger, that can be there too. Where do you notice that in your body? That might be a little bit lower down. It might be in your throat, kind of like a feeling, making space for that. So it's the practicing of not engaging with the thought, not letting our thoughts sort of take us out and try to solve this problem of the emotion, because emotions are not a problem to solve, really. It's just about accepting. It's making space, allowing ourselves to feel the emotion. And so this basic practice of just noticing and naming and making space is a really great way to start practicing acceptance of our feelings. And the more we accept them, the more they're just going to take care of us and do what they need to do. And then we don't have to worry about them so much. They can come with us. If we're going to a meeting, that sadness, that anger, the frustration with the anger, they're coming with us. They don't have to be in charge, but they don't have to go away. Sometimes we feel like we're not allowed to have these strong feelings, but we absolutely can. So this practice of sort of engaging in thought diffusion, so asking the thoughts to step back and then coming back into our bodies and saying, okay, but what emotions am I noticing? What feelings am I having? And just kind of staying present with those, making space for them, accepting them. Practicing that over and over and over again can be a really, really great way to kind of help ourselves feel much more present, much more centered, and not feel like our thoughts are kind of whipping us all over the place or our emotions are just overwhelming us.